Hello everyone and welcome back to Chef Sherry's Plant-Based Kitchen. It's almost time for Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? This year has just flown by. It's actually going to snow here in Chicago in a few hours, so I've got my winter hat, my mittens, my coat, everything to go outside if I need to. It's going to be cold. So I was thinking about Thanksgiving, and I'd like to spend the next couple of weeks sharing with you some really fun Thanksgiving recipes. And what doesn't say Thanksgiving more than a pumpkin pie? I mean, come on. So I've tried a bunch of pumpkin pies, but I have to tell you, I'm going with Shane Martin's pumpkin pie and his 3-ingredient pie crust. Not only is it simple to put together, it is gluten-free for those of people who cannot eat gluten, and it's simply delicious. Now, a little bit of a caveat here. You can't eat this every day or every week. It's a once-a-year pie for me because it does have some sugar in it. But once a year, we're going to have a little fun with it and indulge. So let me tell you what I did. I couldn't make the pie crust and show you how to do it because there's a bunch of steps and I'd have to have you waiting a long time. So the only ingredients that go into this pie crust are almond flour, tapioca flour or arrowroot powder, some ground flaxseed mixed with water, that's your egg replacer, and some salt. And so all I did, I rolled it out with a rolling pin after I got it together. I'm going to share his pie crust recipe under the description section of the YouTube channel today. So follow the directions. It's very simple. The one thing I didn't know what to do, he said to cover the pie crust after you had it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Then you take it out and you cover it with foil. Down here you can see. And then he said put pie weights. I didn't know what pie weights were on top of it. So I just took out another pie pan and I pushed it down. I said, well, that'll have to be my pie weight. So there it goes. So this is what the crust looks like. I just baked it in the oven. Look how pretty. It's really simple. It's really nice. Just baked perfectly. And now we're going to make the filling. So this is how you do it. Very, very simply. I've got my Cuisinart out here, my food processor. You can also use a high-speed blender, but I like it in here because I can get everything out easier when it's all combined. So here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to take 1 can of pumpkin puree. Now don't get anything that says pumpkin pie filling because it will be loaded with other ingredients. We just want the pure pumpkin. So I'm going to add that into this food processor. Mix it around a little so it's evenly distributed. And thank you to Mary Jo Wenkes, one of my Vegan Volunteer Corps members, for getting me this new spatula. She said, yours looks terrible, the one I've been using. It's all cut up, and so she brought this to me when I saw her last time. So thank you. It's getting some good use. Okay, we've got just about all of that out. What I love about this pie, too, is you can make the crust about 3 days ahead and keep it in the freezer, and then you don't have to do it the day of Thanksgiving. And the filling literally takes a second to put together. So the next ingredient we're going to put in is 1 cup of coconut milk. Now Shane says use full fat coconut milk. I only have the light coconut milk, and I've done this before. It's fine as well, but I'm sure that he has a reason for the full coconut milk in terms of just the richness of the pie, but it will taste just as good either way. The next ingredient we're going to use is some maple syrup. As I said, there's some sugary ingredients in here, but it's a holiday pie. So we're making the once a year exception. Then we're going to add in some more sugar, some brown sugar. And you're supposed to use dark brown sugar. I only had the light, so it'll work. After that, we're going to put in a little bit of, let me see, what did I forget? Oh, our pumpkin pie spice. And yes, pumpkin pie spice with a little salt. And I buy the pumpkin pie spice at the store. It looks like this. You can find it. Then we're going to add in some vanilla. Just a little. And then I think the last thing we're going to put in is, corn. We have arrowroot powder again. This is a thickener. Oh, it also splatters, as you can see, all over the place. So be careful with that. Okay, that's it. So let me put this on. I'm going to turn this on and let it blend together. takes that short of amount of time. It's blended. I'm going to take it and I'm going to pour it into my pie crust that's just come out of the oven. Why is this giving me a hard time? Well, that's interesting. Let me unplug it so I don't do any more damage. This should just pop right off. Oh boy. You want to help, Dan? It's stuck. Okay, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to pour it in this way, then we'll figure it out later. As I say, the show must go on no matter what. There we go. All right, I think we've got most of it in there. All we're going to do now is pop it in the oven, and let me tell you how long we're going to bake this little puppy for. We get to that. Bake for 55 to 65 minutes. So I've got my oven. Did I preheat it? Oh, I just shut it off. Let me see what we have to do it. I think it's at 350. Yep, let me turn it back on. We're going to bake 350. And I know it's already at 350 because I just took out the pie crust, so it's plenty good, ready to go. Okay, let's put it in here very carefully. And you will have yourself a beautiful pumpkin pie. Put on my timer. We'll do 55 minutes to start. And let me show you what's going on with the Vegan Volunteer Corps before we go today. In a couple of days, I am going to be going to Lincoln Park Community Services Homeless Shelter with two of our VVC volunteers, Carol and Jessica, who will be assisting me in teaching our very first cooking class to the residents who are residing at the homeless shelter. These are folks who are interested in learning how to cook this way and to have a healthier lifestyle. And let me just show you, here's some of the preparation for that day. You know, I've been doing these cooking classes for so many years that I'm super organized. So this tray will be for our lentil joes. This tray will be for our they're chocolate chip cookies, but they're made with chickpeas, the Kim Campbell's recipe, which is wonderful. And then we're going to make a huge coleslaw to go on top of the lentil joes. So we are very excited to go there and work with them in groups, you know, little teams. And then we're going to sit down and enjoy this wonderful lunch together this month. So I wish all of you a wonderful Thanksgiving coming up soon. And as I said, I'll be back next week with another recipe. I think I'm going to show you how to make some wonderful gravy to put on your mashed potatoes. We'll do mashed potatoes and gravy, and maybe I'll even show you a little cranberry sauce recipe I came up with myself that utilizes pears and cranberries. It's a really cool combination. So I'll see you soon. Have a good week, everyone, and so long for now. Bye-bye.